And you guys can see right now perfectly, see those gummy sheets sticking out? Those are hiding his hypodermic needles, his fangs, his short fixed fangs. So Kevin does have a pair of fangs in that mouth, and he has no problem using them. But for the most part, he likes to use them to get his food down his throat, like little hiking poles. She never likes to get messed with. She's very cantankerous snake. Bam! No problem biting. She let go. Let's see if we can get her to hold on. Alright guys, she's about to slurp down that last bit of tail. So we've got to be on high guard, because once she finishes that up, she has no problem striking out and trying to bite us. Look at that. What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to my wildlife. I'm hanging out here at the Everglades outpost in my snake room. Hanging out here with Ziggy, my little baby American crocodile. He's not so much of a baby anymore. He's getting around a year old, getting really big, beautiful, long tail, and no, not food. No, we're gonna feed Kevin today. He's getting pythons, and I think he knows. He's very intelligent. He knows when he's getting fed, and he's acting like Ziggy's tail's a snake. You cannot have Ziggy's tail. I'm sorry. Look at him. He's flicking his tongue like crazy. You can't have this. You can't have this. I won't let him hurt you, Ziggy. It's okay. All right. We're gonna put Ziggy back inside his enclosure and start feeding these king cobras and get to it. So come on, Ziggy, let's go. All right, beautiful people. So we're gonna be feeding these gorgeous king cobras. I love these kinds of episodes because I know how much you guys love king cobras. I'm so happy to be able to take this channel and throw people's attention onto a snake that literally nobody would have ever thought they would have loved. But for some reason, this channel has brought so much light to king cobras. Oh, I'm sorry, Kevin. This channel has brought so much light to king cobras that around the world, people love king cobras. They love Kevin. They love to see these snakes, see them eat, see me handle them, see them do their things. We're going to talk a lot about king cobras in this episode. So let's get to it. Right over here, we have our lovely, lovely array of hors d'oeuvres. As you can see, this is a bucket of frozen, thawed Burmese pythons caught out of the Everglades. I say this in every feeding video because I have to let you guys know these pythons are an invasive species. So just to clarify, they don't belong here in South Florida. Because of the pet trade, thousands and thousands of these snakes over the years were bred in captivity, and sadly, one year at one of these breeding facilities, when we had a major hurricane, destroyed a breeding facility, sending the pythons out to the Everglades, and over the years, we've had a growing population of Burmese pythons to the point the tail fell off and started swinging. I was like, it's alive! Over the years, these pythons have been exploding in numbers, and believe it or not, every single night when I go out snake hunting, if I go out on a good night, I'm guaranteed to find one python at least. That is how big the numbers of pythons have gone here in South Florida. They are no good for the environment. They're not supposed to be here. Obviously an apex predator from the land of Southeast Asia, able to overpower something much larger than its own head. Burmese pythons get upwards to 18 feet long, and they've been documented eating 7 to 8 foot alligators. Native deer, possums, raccoons. They've even noticed that out in the wild of Florida, in the Everglades, our mammal population has dramatically gone down. We're at an all-time low for possums and raccoons. And I love possums and raccoons, so obviously we don't want all these pythons out here. They don't belong here. It's not their fault. They were introduced to the pet trade, but the good thing is, not just the Burmese python is from Southeast Asia, but the king cobras are from Southeast Asia. And obviously, Ophiophagus hanna, the eater of snakes, love to eat pythons, reticulated pythons, Burmese pythons, and all other types of snakes. So we have two defrosted pythons right here. Let's see how big they are. I'm going to grab them each by the tail so we can get a good estimate. Let's see. Okay, so we have like a 5-footer and a 4-footer. And first we want to feed Justina. So I'm going to take this 4-footer, I'm going to get it ready. We're going to open up Justina's enclosure. We're going to feed her this food. Look at her. She's ready. She knows when it's feeding time. Look at that face. She looks like she's judging me a lot, but she's probably not. She's probably not. So let me just open this up. First thing I want to do to make things easy is take out this tortoise shell. And now what I want to do is get my forceps so I can get a good grip on this python. I'm going to offer this python to her. Let's see, I'm going to go from this side. She already looks interested. Look at that. So I'm just going to tug on the coils a little bit, make it look like it's alive. Ooh, right for it. Come on, look at her hooding up. She is so good at hooding up and letting everyone know that she's the boss. She never likes to get messed with. She's very cantankerous snake. Bam! No problem biting. She let go. Let's see if we can get her to hold on. She doesn't know what to make of it. She's like, oh, I've been challenged again by a random snake. Go ahead. It's right there. All right, she's interested. She's looking downwards. Come on. All right, she's looking at my hand. So I'm gonna stop tugging on the python. I'm gonna let it be. And we're gonna give her a moment to realize that this python's dead, because she already bit it. So hopefully in her head she's thinking it's dying. I'm just gonna close up the glass. All right, we're gonna give her a couple moments and let her figure out that thing's dead, so she can start making a meal of it. I promise you it's dead. Go ahead, go ahead. There she goes. You can actually hear her growling. If you get real close, you can hear the growl of the king cobra. And I'm tugging on it back and forth because out in the wild when they hunt, they go right up to a venomous reptile like a cobra or a viper, and they grab it right behind the neck. They crunch down, they use their muscles to envenomate. They got one of the strongest bites of any venomous reptile on the planet, which really comes into handy when hunting down venomous snakes, because you want to make sure you pin that snake right behind the head so you don't end up getting envenomated, because she's an Elapidae family member. She's got neurotoxins. She would not want to get bit by a viper that has hemotoxins. It's not going to be fun for her. But look at her. She already knows that's an easy meal to make. She loves her pythons, and she's about to consume it like it's nothing. She's working her way towards the head. There she goes. And as she eats, she growls to let me know she doesn't want me in her presence. Look at that. Look at that blood coagulating and oozing out the sides of the face. Just a little bit of extra sauce for her python meal. Look at that. This is so cool. And you know what's even cooler? To be able to see king cobras feeding out in the wild. Lately, I've been watching some videos from the King Cobra Conservancy, which is actually the shirt that I'm wearing right now. The King Cobra Conservancy has a program where they put radio transmitters on king cobras and they track their movement throughout the forests of India, Borneo, and Thailand. And because they're doing this, why they're doing this, probably asking, they want to know every little detail about king cobras. They want to know what they're eating, what waters do they drink, where do they hang out most of the time. All this information is very important for the protection of king cobras. The King Cobra Conservancy group, all they want to do is conserve king cobras and bring awareness to the species throughout removing them through houses and native villages throughout India, Thailand, and Borneo, and educating the public of why these snakes are important, why you shouldn't kill them, as well as studying them to the point where they can figure out what affects them out in the wild to let the government know this is happening, we need to nip it in the bud. So the King Cobra Conservancy group is an awesome conservation group that sole purpose is to conserve the king cobra, my favorite snake. If you guys like king cobras, then I think it's a program that you guys can get behind too. Wait, let's come get close. Look at this. So this is basically like a workout for her, taking down such a large meal. I could feed her something larger, like a 6-foot python, and get crazy with it, but I really would rather feed smaller prey items to my king cobras so it's easier to digest, and they don't have to spend so much time sitting there like a big slug trying to digest that food. If you guys remember, I fed Kevin, my king cobra, the first ever python I gave to him was 8 foot long, 1 inch. A huge python for him to eat. But since he's a huge king cobra, he had no problem taking down that meal. And what's interesting is their stomach is not longer than the python itself. So when they eat these pythons, the pythons actually get folded up inside the stomach. So they get folded up so it fits nice, and then as it starts to digest, it gets folded up more and more, it starts to decrease, and eventually the last thing that comes out of the fecal matter are those scales, because the scales of a snake are made of keratin, the same materials as your fingernail and your hair. So it's not really easy to digest. So these guys consume everything. Whole snake, they get all the nutrients, the gut content, everything this python will serve. as a great nutritional boost for this king cobra, which is really important because in the future we might just breed Justina, find her boyfriend. And check this out. You see that there's a little bit of blood oozing out the side right there, right? But this is also a lot of mucus. The thing about king cobras is they salivate just like humans when they're about to eat. They get really excited, they start to salivate, which helps bring down the food easier and promotes better digestion. Look at this. I'm going to pull this out. There's a little bit of shed right here that she left. Oh, this is really cool. Look at this. These are the head scales of the king cobra. Look how big they are. Huge head scales, came off nice and easy, and this is super important right here. Look at that. The eye cap. Let me flip that around. The clear eye cap of the king cobra. So they actually have a cap on their eye, and it must come off with shedding. If it doesn't come off, and it's stuck, and then the snake sheds again, and again, and again, eventually all those stuck sheds on the eye will make the snake blind, and we don't want that. So it's really important to notice little things like that, and make sure my kings are properly shedding their skin, getting the right nutrition, and living their best lives. And if we look, we're going to try and spot this out when she's real distracted. If you look at the tip of these forceps. See the gums right there? Watch this. She's using her fangs to help her hold the python down into her gullet. But I really want to show you guys the fangs because a lot of people out there, they think that these snakes are defanged, they don't have their venom glands because of the way I handle them, but that's not true at all. These guys are fully loaded. This big lump right here on the back of the head is a big old venom gland, one of the biggest venom glands of any venomous reptile on the planet. And then right there, if you look, see that those gums right there? See if we'll see them in a second. Let's see. Maybe in a moment. There we go. See the gums right there? Right there? Right underneath those gums, those are gummy sheaths. They're protecting the fangs. They have very short, fixed fangs. Even though this is the longest venomous snake on the planet, they have some of the shortest fangs on the planet. So there are a pair of fangs in that mouth, and if I'm not careful, I'll get those fangs put in my skin and I'm a dead man. So we give the snakes respect, we feed them, admire them, and as soon as she's done with that food in her mouth, I'm going to close the cage because I don't want to get bit. We gotta go feed cattle. Oh, look at that. She's nearly done. She's got the last bit, the little section right before the cloaca, and then she's got the tip of the tail and she's done. Alright guys, she's about to slurp down that last bit of tail. So we've got to be on high guard because once she finishes that up, she has no problem striking out and trying to bite us. Look at that. Perfect. You see that opening right there? You guys see that little flap open? That is the extended trachea of the king cobra. All snakes have an extended trachea. So when they're eating a large food item, they can still breathe by pushing that extended trachea out the corner of the mouth. All right, I'm going to close it up because it looks like she's getting ready to even strike out. Even though she's still swallowing that last bit of tail, she has no problem teaching me a lesson. All right, I think we're good. Let me just back up a little bit. Awesome, look at her. She is a beast of a king cobra. We're going to let her be. Give her her respect. It's okay. Back up. Back up. Uh-oh. Be good. Awesome. Justina swallowing up a python, no problems at all. She's a great eater. Look at her. Beautiful snake. She's got whites breaking throughout her scales. She's an Indonesian king cobra, so she has that olive color. And depending on where they come in Indonesia, they might come out darker, like black with white. They're really cool snakes. I really do enjoy them. Let me put her visual barrier up. I have little pillowcases as visual barriers. If you guys have never seen these and wonder what they were. Basically just helping the snakes feel a little more comfortable so they can have their privacy in one section of the cage. So let me just get the lock. We're going to lock the enclosure back up. Nice and secure. I'm going to turn off the lights of this enclosure, and now we're going to feed the king. We're going to feed Kevin, the Malaysian king cobra, the beast of all the snakes, and all his pride and joy. Look at that. Glorious. Alright guys, for Kevin, we're going to try something a little bit different. Usually I feed him in his enclosure, but now that he's used to being fed here at this facility, I feel that maybe we can try to get him to come out a little bit to try and eat a python. I'm not going to push it too much because all I care about is him getting his food and getting his nutrition. So we'll see what happens. Let me get the food. Let's see. There we go. Ooh, oozing. Put that bucket right here. That's a big python, but an easy meal for the king. Kevin, Kevin. He's gonna see it. He's gonna pick up that scent. Oh yeah, he's interested for sure. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. No? Come on. He's smelling, he's tasting the droplets that have been coming off the python that are on the cage. He's confirming that this is food. Kevin, come on. I know you want it. Watch, he's gonna bite it. Right behind the head. Go ahead. Good boy. Crushing that head. Did you hear that? You can actually hear the fangs popping into the skull. Alright, we're gonna move real slow. We do not want to spook him. We want to make sure he takes down that meat. Look at this. Look how big this python is. That is a really good meal for this king. Look, he's already trying to work that head down. He's going to taste it for a moment. Make sure it's the best python in all of the land to eat. He's going to start working that food down in his gullet. That is a 14, actually no, that's more like a 15-foot long Malaysian king cobra. I love them. And you guys are probably wondering, why would you keep a king cobra that's so large in such a small cage? Well, the reality of it is these snakes are super secretive, and they have these privacy screens, whereas they like to hide a lot out in the wild. Although they like to move around a lot in the wild too, they do hide a lot as well. So the thing is with these cages, they work well for now, but in the future we're going to be upgrading to walk-in enclosures for our king cobras with trees inside the enclosure for them to climb into, because this is a very arboreal snake. Not a lot of people realize that. So in the future, we got big plans for these king cobras. Look at this, come get closer over there. Reeks with intelligence, look at those eyes. You guys can see right now perfectly. See those gummy sheets sticking out? Those are hiding his hypodermic needles, his fangs, his short, fixed fangs. So Kevin does have a pair of fangs in that mouth, and he has no problem using them. But for the most part, he likes to use them to get his food down his throat, like little hiking poles. anyone who's new to the channel and probably wondering, why is this king cobra so much different looking than the one above, than Justina? Well, this is a Malaysian king cobra. So it's not a different species, but it's a different locality, a different location, different coloration to adapt to that environment. So in Malaysia, a lot of the reptile species have a beautiful yellow to gold color to match with their environment. So the Malaysian king cobras are a beautiful yellow sunset color. They're gorgeous animals. And then Justina, being an Indonesian king cobra, darker coloration to match with a darker environment, darker forest. Now Kevin, being real yellow, would be great camouflage for bamboo leaves. Yellow bamboo leaves all over the floor. Imagine this guy sitting in a stalk of bamboo stilts, sitting around the leaves. He'd be perfectly camouflaged and no one would even know he's there. And speaking of bamboo, when these guys are really young, right when they come out of the eggs, they're only about that big, and they have black and yellow stripes. No matter what type of king cobra, they all have black and yellow stripes. They'll actually live their whole life, like baby Komodo dragons, they'll live their whole life in the trees until they're old enough to come down, because everything wants to eat them. So baby king cobras hang up way at the top of bamboo stilts, hunting little flying snakes and geckos until they're big enough to come to the forest floor, where it's really dangerous. Because there are snakes that will hunt king cobras, even baby king cobras. Whether it's birds, snakes, lizards, a baby king cobra will make a good meal. Goodness, I don't think I've ever seen him swallow a Burmese python that fast. That was like a 5-foot long python, and he engulfed it in a matter of minutes. That was very impressive. Look at that. Look at his beautiful head. And he shed not too long ago, if you guys saw that video, so he's looking gorgeous. His chevrons, which are the bands going down his back, neon yellow. He's the most beautiful king cobra I've ever seen. I love you, Kevin. Alright guys, he's done. So I'm going to slowly close the glass for safety purposes. That was awesome. That was really, really cool. Let's get this locked and secured. Alright, locked, secured. Kevin seems to be very content. Nice big meal in his belly. He's going to keep growing and become one of the biggest king cobras the world's ever seen. Now guys, if you like king cobras, which, come on, I know you guys like king cobras. If you're a fan of this channel, you love king cobras. I, of course, love king cobras, and that's why today I want to show you guys this, the King Cobra Conservancy Group. You can get a shot of that on the back. It is an awesome organization that devotes all their time to the conservation of king cobras. They spend weeks and weeks and weeks on end tracking king cobras that they put transmitters on, so they can study their behavior and see what they're doing in the wild, see what they need, see what affects them, and if they find anything that affects them, bring that to the government to help protect them more. So it's a conservation group devoted to king cobras. How awesome is that? Alright guys, so check this out. Look at this. So I went onto the website, and if you look at this. They list things that they need for tracking king cobras to help with their research. They want to add 2 more king cobras to their research program so they can learn more about them and help them. So it lists, right here, look at this, 2 radio receivers, $1,500, 3 antenna, $675, 5 GPS units, $625, 6 walkie-talkies, $150, and they have an overall goal of trying to reach $50,000 for their conservation group. This is a non-for-profit organization of people who devote their whole entire lives to saving king cobras, conserving them, educating the public. That's what I want to do with my life. That's all I'm trying to do with my life. That's the whole point of this channel. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to donate $3,000 of Chandler's Wildlife money, that YouTube money, and I'm going to use it to pay for all the supplies so they can get these 2 new king cobras added to the tracking program. And then they have this goal for $50,000 they're trying to reach. So how about this, guys? Everyone out there who loves king cobras, why don't you guys donate $1, $5, $50? So guys, check this out. If you donate $50, you can become a friend of the Conservancy. Just by donating, become a friend of the Conservancy, and you guys can also get hats and shirts and whatnot. You can become a sponsor by giving $250, or you can be a partner. Kevin really wants to be a partner. I'm sorry, buddy. You can be a partner of the group by donating $1,000. Now listen, I don't expect anyone out there to be donating crazy amounts of money in the time of Corona. Obviously, everyone's a little tight on their budgets. But if you guys out there have $10, $20, $50 that you could donate to to the conservation of king cobras, I would greatly appreciate it, and so would Kevin and his wild cousins. So if you guys love king cobras, please check out the King Cobra Conservancy group.org right here. There's going to be a link right below. You guys can donate, help save king cobras. Help me help save king cobras. This is all I've ever wanted to do, is help conservation groups around the world for reptiles, snakes, crocs, mammals, birds, everything. I want to use this platform, this YouTube platform, strictly for conservation purposes. I want to get my facility, I want to do my education out of that facility, breed endangered species, and travel the world and help other conservation groups. That's what it's all about. So think about that. Check out the King Cobra Conservancy group. Please donate. I know I'm going to be donating. I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay beautiful, stay safe, and most of all, love king cobras. You cannot have Ziggy's tail. I'm sorry.